there's a rumor, and I said it just like that to make it understand, that there's an Indian pavilion coming to Epcot's showcase with massive Jungle Book ride. Now, here's the reason why I read it and I didn't think that it was a real story, is because, one, the word rumor. Two, it's been rumored that something is coming to Epcot ever since Epcot opened.
Yeah.
I heard Siam back when Thailand was being referred to as Siam. Actually, it has been. I heard Thailand. I've heard Brazil. I heard that there was going to even be a Vietnam at one point, and I was like, no, that one. I was like, no, there isn't. No, not in our lifetime will there ever be a Vietnam.
Not in your life.
Yeah. So there, I mean, everything you could possibly think of has been rumored to be going into the World Showcase, and it all covers the same area, which is between China and Norway, which is now a drink station, which frankly, that drink station is very important to me, because when you're doing that long walk, it is a nice
beverages.
Yeah, and it does have little cooling sprays and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it always goes in the same place. Everybody is absolutely sure that drink station is going to be replaced with a land, and that's been going on for 30 years. So when I see stuff like this, I don't know if this is a story people would be interested in, because I'm always like, well, really? But Jungle Book hit, and Epcot is bringing more and more IP into the park.
As they should. Let's be entirely honest there. I mean,
it does help.
Epcot has always been the redheaded stepchild of Disney World, unfortunately.
I love it for what it is,
because it was my favorite. It was my favorite park that we went to, and we went to all the four like main parks when I went to Disney, and Epcot is and was still my favorite. So I'm not bagging on Epcot, but Epcot could really use some Disneyfication every now and then.
Yeah, and well, I did a video and we talked about it. Actually, the video was us talking like this is going to be for this one. But it was, of course, about the Mary Poppins the rumored ride for Mary Poppins. Now this one, let's see, we're still waiting to hear if the Brazil pavilion is coming. Yeah. As well as the announcement of the Mary Poppins ride, it says. But now we're hearing that Walt Disney Imagineering has another full-blown pavilion in development, and that is India. Okay, now let's see. It says an Indian pavilion has actually been among the long list of rumored countries to be added to the back half of the park, with Disney holding meetings with the Indian government officials way back in 1986. Told you.
Mm-hmm.
According to the Orlando Sentinel, the India booth that's the big Orlando newspaper. The India booth at Epcot International Food and Wine Festival is popular, and Sanaa at Disney's Animal Kingdom Lodge is possibly the best sit-down restaurant in all of Walt Disney World. I disagree. I freaking disagree with that statement. They need to get rid of that word possibly. Could you imagine being able to get Sanaa-like dishes, including bread service? Oh, yeah, that's so good. From table and counter service restaurants while at Epcot. Maybe this sounds like a better thematic fit for Animal Kingdom theme park, but there are other plans for expanding there in the next few years, and we'll be sharing that at a later date. If the plans for Epcot's Indian Pavilion come to fruition, it will be anchored by a massive e-ticket attraction, a boat ride based on the 2016 hit live-action film, The Jungle Book. I'm on board.
Yeah. This sounds like a really good idea if they do in fact go through it. And more importantly, an India pavilion sounds like a good idea just in general, because it is a very interesting culture and a very distinct culture that doesn't really get represented very often.
It goes on to say that some people prefer the ride to be based on the animated classic, and there is arguments to be made for that, but the live action grossed over $1 billion worldwide. The film will also eventually have a sequel. Now, my whole thing, if I'm going classic versus animated, I think the live action would be a better fit for Epcot.
Yeah, I agree on the basis of one of the biggest selling points of the remake of the Jungle Book was its technical acumen. And if you're going to make an attraction, technical acumen is one of those things you have to keep in mind, because people want to be wowed and people want to see things they're not going to see under most normal circumstances.
Now, the arguments against the live action would be characters. Yeah. Like the character meet and greets go better if you're dealing with the animated, because that's more kid friendly.
And also more just like the characters were a weak point, in my opinion, in the live action one. At least in comparison to the animated one, who, you know, everyone knows Blue and Bagheera and King Louie and even Shere Khan to an extent. So like, if you're going to do it character based, then yeah, you're gonna want to at least have both, if not do the animated one.
Yeah.
So I think it'd be a good idea just to have both and have it be split somehow. But
yeah, like they do the character meet and greet with the animated, and you have the live action be the boat ride. Thing. I think that would be kind of cool. It says it's going to be like the Pirates Caribbean battle for the sunken treasure that's at Shanghai Disney. Which if you ever see the YouTube video of that, it looks amazing and it's huge. So yeah, I'm all in. They've sold me. I'm definitely renewing my pass for that if it's true. And it says the project could be a few years away, as the sequel is not even set to resume production until after the live action Lion King released in 2019. So we'll see. But yeah, it would be kind of cool to get a new thing in Epcot, because it's been a long time coming.
Epcot really just needs a overhaul, and everything needs to be as upgraded as it can be. Not to say they should change anything. I think they just need to make everything that is there better, a better version of whatever it is.
Yeah. Professor Pixel says Epcot got rid of Innovations or something like that. Yeah, it was Innovations. And that's when I stopped really caring about it. Innovations was not very innovative, though. It really was going downhill. The thing is, what they do is they get sponsors, and the sponsors kind of help with the upkeep. That's one of the things that happened to Imagination. I believe that was Kodak, and they didn't want to put all the money into it, and they wanted it changed for some reason, and it ended up changing, and then they never updated it, and it's kind of gone to pot. The version you get now is nowhere near as good as the original. And I think the same thing might have happened with Innovations. They just stopped innovating. They stopped, building upon it. And that was part of the problem with that.
I really do think Epcot would benefit from going back to like Disney's original like ambitions for it, which were basically a nonstop World's Fair, or a, you know, larger, more upscale version of Tomorrowland. I think if Epcot doubled down on those aspects, it would really work. Which isn't to say that you should get rid of things like the World Showcase, because if you got rid of the World Showcase, I would throw an absolute tantrum.
Well, that is what the future world is supposed to be. It's what it's supposed to represent. But in Innovations was where you got all of the upcoming technology. You kind of got a view of the upcoming technology. And it seriously went to pot. And it got to a point where the carpeting was so bad in there that when you walked in, it was like being slapped in the face with black mold. It was not a fun time to be in there by the time they closed it down. So I'm not so mad that they closed it down. I'm mad that they let it fall that far before it was closed down, or they didn't upkeep and keep it open. Now, one thing that's really strange is I'm not exactly sure what the Guardians of the Galaxy is coming, and how it'll fit into the whole dynamic of the World's Fair aspect of Future World.
Disney Hollywood Studios more than
yeah, but we'll see how it goes.